Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome week so far. I hope you're staying healthy and strong. Everyone, this is an IELTS writing task 2. Band 9 agreement essay that we're working on right now. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Welcome new members. Kinga Polny. Nice to see Janil, Arda, Kyber, and Ashish in the class as well. Again, this is our class for today, and it's a members chat class. If you're not a member of our channel, you can become a member by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. If you're doing the IELTS exam, it's a great idea to subscribe to this channel as well as to become a member. Welcome, Cass. All right, students, this this presentation is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Check us out there, as well as gieltshelp.com. For general IELTS, that's where you want to go. Task 2 is pretty much the same for both the academic and the general exams. We haven't noticed much of a difference between those essays. So this class will be valuable regardless of which type of essay you are doing. On our websites, we have 100 hours of video lessons. We have 400 slide course, 6 original practice exams. The websites look like this. I will show you in just a moment. They look like this. This is our academic IELTS website here. You click that big red button to join the premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. General IELTS looks like this with the green background at gieltshelp.com. Click this big red button. We are certified British Council IELTS Test Registration Center and certified British Council agents, so you're in great hands with us. June, thank you for wishing a happy year of the tiger. We do actually have a discount code that speaks to that. So you can use the discount code TIGER9 to get 30% off when you join our premium package. You can also get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help, from your app stores. As well, follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. So make sure to join our premium package. Use that discount code. We've got more classes in the week. Again, when you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our channel, you can see this schedule. And if you have questions, you can send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. All right. Arda says, are we going to be able to finish our essay in just a single class? Arda, I've thought about that. In order to do that, it's a good question, Arda. We can try that one of these days for sure. Remember, you have 40 minutes for your task 2. So for us to finish an essay in one class basically means just writing the essay and not too much talking at all. Or doing like a 2-hour class. So one of those two. And this is our task 2 question for today. It makes a lot more sense, Arda, to do planning in one class, starting the essay, and then finishing it in another class. I did it a long time ago before you were a member, Arda, where I did finish the essay in one class, and kind of the students and myself, we were in agreement that they just weren't getting a lot of information. It just kind of was like, well, okay, there's an essay, I got it, but it's just like reading an essay on your own, okay? So let's take a look at task 2 writing today, the question, and you need to spend 40 minutes on this task. Now that's why, because these classes are 1 hour long, you know, it's unless you want to be sitting here for 2 hours or just watching me type up an essay, I don't know how much sense that makes. And here's the question for today. And this question, I believe, was requested by Jyoti. So Jyoti says this was one of the recent questions on the IELTS exam. So this is an actual question that people had to answer. I'm not sure if it was the academic or the general IELTS. Maybe Jyoti can help us out there. But this was the question for the exam. And the first step here, of course, is we have to read this question super carefully. Okay? So IELTS Task 2 writing, spend 40 minutes on this task. Some people believe that if the police force carries guns, it would encourage a higher level of violence in society. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And then here we have to write at least 250 words. Okay, so write at least 250 words. Again, read it carefully. I recommend reading the question twice, just so you're 100% clear on what's going on. And then the next step is to paraphrase. Okay, so you see the question here again, and step one when you're in your exam is to paraphrase. Baljit says, I think it was the last exam question, task 2. Yeah, I think so, Baljit. Again, Jyoti sent this, and I think Jyoti mentioned something similar, like it was the last exam question. Okay, so let's paraphrase this, and then we'll compare. So I'll move as quickly as I can while still making sense, Arda. Okay. And Arta's asking, do you think we should always agree with the statement? No, absolutely not. So we can talk about that in a minute. Let's paraphrase before we discuss that, Arta. So step one, before you can even think about should I agree, disagree, or somewhat agree, just paraphrase the question. Make sure you clearly understand it, okay? So paraphrase the question to make sure that you clearly understand it, and so that you get some good ideas. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to paraphrase this in my own words using synonyms, grammar, maybe some descriptive language. So certain individuals are in the belief that if or when it may promote Okay, so here's my paraphrase. Let's see what you have come up with. Okay, so I'll read mine, and then I'll read some of the paraphrasing by our members as well. Okay, some people believe that if the police force carries guns, it would encourage a higher level of violence in society. To what extent do you agree or disagree? This is the original question. Now here is my paraphrase. Certain individuals instead of some people. are in the belief that when peace officers, okay, so another way to say police officers, at least in Canada, is peace officers, okay, have firearms. So another way to say guns is firearms, or sidearms, for example, pistols, because they usually carry pistols, not rifles or something, right? So there are different ways to say guns as well. And it's good to paraphrase these nouns because you start to visually picture these weapons and you start to understand what they symbolize or what they reflect, how they work, right? These are all equivalent to guns. Okay. It may promote. So instead of encourage, I'm using the word promote. And instead of the word violence, I'm using the word aggression. Okay, so I'm also teaching you vocabulary. If these did not come to mind, make sure you think about it, okay? Society, and more specifically, of course, the society that we're talking about here is the general public, okay? So, and then to what extent do you support or disprove this position, right? So this is my paraphrasing here. Take note of it for some of those key terms that we saw in the original question. Okay, so notice those. All right, let's see what some of our members have come up with. So this is Janelle. Okay, so here's some paraphrasing. And again, there's lots of different ways to do this, students, so it doesn't have to be the same way. This is Janelle here. Let's take a look. So Janelle writes, certain individuals think that it would stimulate negatively and increase. I wouldn't say stimulate negatively. That's awkward English, I think, Janelle. So certain individuals think that it would negatively, I think violence and stimulate negatively are quite different. I would reword that. An increase in unrest in the community if a policeman brought a revolver. To what degree do you support or disprove this notion? Okay, it's okay. It's a little bit awkward English. So certain individuals think that it would lead, I would keep this simple, to an increased unrest in the community if a policeman not brought but carries or packs a revolver. To what degree? Okay, that's a little bit better. That makes a bit more sense, and I like how you reverse the grammar, Janelle, so that's good. Okay. All right, Nuthan's asking, how do I manage to come up with ideas when I'm not aware of the topics? Nuthan, it's exactly the steps of planning that will give you the right ideas, okay? I think that's why a lot of people, don't do so well in the IELTS and don't get those high band scores, Nuthan, is because they try to start writing and answering without thinking about the question. You have to spend about 3 to 4 minutes thinking about the question, okay? So keep that in mind, everyone. You must invest 3 to 5 minutes to plan your essay so that you can come up with good ideas and write quickly to get a high band score. The way task 2 is designed on the IELTS is so that you have to think. Okay, you can't just start writing, you have to think. Okay. Let's take one more. So this is Calvin here. So Calvin writes, certain individuals ascertain that the usage of of guns by police officers would motivate more threats in the population. Do you believe this statement? Yeah, to what degree? Right, so a little bit more specific. Okay, that's good. Let's take one more. Let's take Rashika as well. Okay. And so Rashika writes, yeah, some people, certain individuals, it's the easiest paraphrase. Certain individuals ascertain that if the police keep guns on themselves, always, it will back up a higher chance of criminal activity. It will not back up, but bring about a higher incidence, not chance, of criminal activities in the community. Okay, to what extent do you support or disagree? Okay, keep that part of the question in mind, Rashika. All right, good. So we're on the right path. Now we want to identify the topic, right? So what is the topic in this case? What are we talking about? Okay. So before you can answer this question, think about the topic. When you think about the topic, go back to the original question. So some people believe that if the police force carries guns, it would encourage a higher level of violence in society. To what extent do you agree or disagree? What's the topic? What are we talking about? Okay. Kyber says forcing policemen to carry guns. I don't think so. Okay. Arda is asking, can I say cops instead of police? Yeah, you can. Cops is okay. Yeah, that's a commonly accepted term for police. At least here in North America, we use it. Peace officer, cops, police, sure, same. Okay, Jyoti says the topic is police force carrying guns to encourage violence. Notice how we've got some different ideas around the topic. So here's where you have to be very careful because there really is only one topic that we're talking about. June says the effect of police force carrying guns on peace. Yeah. June, that's the closest one. So this is what June says is the topic, and I think June is very, very close. Okay, the effect of police force carrying guns on peacefulness. Okay, June, you're very close. This is what I would say. Okay, I would say the effect of police having guns on the public. Okay, so that's what I would say is the topic. Yeah, so Sandra says police force carrying guns. Sorry, Chandra. Yeah, Chandra, I think that's correct. Okay. Police force carrying guns. Most simply, you're right, Chandra. That's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, and then the controlling idea is, does this lead to more violence? Instead of a question, let's do this as a statement. Leads, so police guns leads to more violence or not in the public. Okay, so when you're identifying the topic and the controlling idea, everyone, your goal is to be accurate and concise. Okay, so it is very important to master identifying the topic and controlling idea in a precise and concise way. Okay? All right. So everybody clear on that? Are we in agreement that the topic here is the police force carrying guns, and the controlling idea is police guns leading to more violence or not in the public? Yeah? Thumbs up? Somebody disagreeing? What do you think? We're in agreement here? Okay. Now again, ideally, when you get to the real IELTS, step 1 and step 2, what we're doing right here, is taking you no more than about a minute and a half, okay? So this is step 2. During the real exam, this should really only take you 20 seconds at most, okay? Step 1, where you paraphrase the question as long as you've practiced, this should take you maybe 1 minute, okay? At most. So if you're thinking about the actual time during the real exam. Okay, Cass says thumbs up, funny. Okay, Arta says thumbs up and panic. Okay, Baljeet agrees. All right, good. Okay, so now we can go to step 3, and step 3 is actually figuring this out, right? Because in this question, when you first look at it, you're kind of like, well, does it or doesn't it, right? Okay. So step 3 is critical thinking to figure out good points for the essay. Okay, so first of all, what is policemen and policewomen, of course, carrying guns? So what does that mean? Okay, and here I'm going to, so Arta, one way I can speed up this lesson a little bit is to go through the critical thinking a bit faster with everyone. And if you disagree with me or if you have a different thought about it, let me know, okay? So when you're going through the critical thinking, visualize and think of reality. Okay, so do the police carry guns in your country? Does this lead to violence, right? Okay. All right, and the first question is, what is policemen or women carrying guns? Okay, well, I'm thinking of Canada here, right? Here, police carry a pistol, semi-automatic firearm. Yeah, and absolutely. So Canadian police carry pistols. They do have them, and it's a semi-automatic. It's not a revolver. It means that they can just pull the trigger. Okay. All right. So here I would ask the question, why? Why does a policeman carry a gun? Okay. And this is where, I start to think critically, okay, of why does a policeman carry a gun? In order to protect themselves, to discourage criminals from dangerous behavior, to protect the public. Okay. How does this happen? Right? Policeman uses the gun to warn a criminal or to disable a criminal when necessary. Okay. Such as in a hostile or hostage situation. Okay. All right. So here I'm going a little bit faster because I'm showing you that, this planning happens quickly. So when you're going through the what, why, how, it happens quickly. And here I'm asking the what about the topic. So here it's the topic that I'm doing the what, why, how. So the police carrying guns. What is that? Police carries a pistol, a semi-automatic firearm. It's the specific type of weapon that they carry. Why? In order to protect themselves, to discourage criminals from dangerous behavior, to protect the public. How does this happen? Okay, so now I think about the controlling idea. Okay. So the first question here is, what is increased violence because of police firearms? Okay, it means a statistically greater incidence of lawless behavior caused by police having guns. Okay. Why would people in society be more violent as a result of police having guns? They are fearful of the police, so they feel they need to be more aggressive. Okay. Now here, I have to be honest with myself, so I have to say, like, I don't really have a lot of good answers for this. Okay, so maybe you do, but I don't. So I personally don't have a lot of good answers for why people would feel the need to be more aggressive or more violent if the police are carrying guns. Why wouldn't would be another one I would ask here. So why wouldn't? Because this is the opposite, right? So why wouldn't people be more aggressive when police carry guns? And for this one, I would say because they fear the consequence of guns. Okay. They feel safer knowing that the police can effectively protect them. Okay. All right. Okay. So how police have the upper hand in an aggressive situation. Okay, so that would be the rest of it. Okay, so here I'm going through the what, why, how as best as I can for the controlling idea. Okay, so here, students, I kind of went, through this critical thinking a bit faster so that we can spend a bit more time on our thesis and on our introductory paragraph. Okay, so now that I have all of this information, I can come up with my thesis. And again, there's no one right answer to this essay question. Hopefully, you're choosing one that you can easily and effectively write about in the 40-minute time limit. So I have a pretty good idea of my thesis, okay? And this is my next step here. So this is my step 4, is to come up with a direct and effective thesis statement. The argument of your essay, the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. That will get you a band 9. Okay. So come up with a thesis statement. Okay, let's see what you come up with. I don't really want to spoil the thesis statement for you this time. I'd like you to come up, members, with your thesis statement first, and I will look at some thesis statements. Cass, I see you're planning, so why wouldn't I? It's because fear the effect of guns. Also, you feel safer and more secured when the police officer carry guns. Okay, so good. So it looks like many of you are kind of coming up with the same concepts, the same visual imagery as what I came up with planning here. Now, yeah, you're afraid of being hurt, Kofam, absolutely. So the thesis statement, should reflect what you're visualizing. Obviously, it should have 2 clear points for your body paragraph, and then we'll be able to get into the introduction. So let's see the thesis statements. Members, when you're writing thesis statements, all you need to do is do this in the chat. Just write a T with a colon, and then I know that it's the thesis statement. Pravasha, you don't actually have to write thesis statement, okay? Just even thesis is enough. But it's a lot of clarity, so I appreciate that, okay? And then once we have that, we'll get into the introductory paragraph. Okay, so this is Pravasha's thesis statement. Let's take a look. Okay, so Pravasha in the chat is writing, let me just review it. Here we go. So always capitalize your I's. So I disagree with this statement because in general, police officers carry guns to protect themselves and safeguard society. Yeah, and I would finish this. So Pravasha, I think you have a good start to this essay. I think that you can go with this. So, which leads to a decrease in violence. Okay, so finish the idea. Pravasha, I think you have a really good concept here for your thesis, but you have to finish the idea. Okay, so I would comment on your writing. If you were to send it to me for editing, I would say make sure to finish this sentence and the idea. Okay. And then you have a good thesis. I think you can go with that. Okay. All right. Let's take somebody else's. So here's Arda. Okay, this is Arda's thesis statement. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. So Arda says, I am in complete. You don't need un. I am in complete disagreement with this statement. So both of you wrote with this statement. Notice how here you have Pravansha writing with this thesis statement, and you have this. So you're referring to the question here, Arda, just like what Pravasha did as well. I wouldn't actually do that. So I think it's better in your task 2 writing and in writing in general to actually reflect what you're disagreeing with. Does that make sense, everyone? Can I get a thumbs up? And I'll show you what I mean here specifically. Okay, so I am in complete disagreement that arming police with firearms leads to more violence, because they do this for safety of both themselves and society. Okay. And then you don't need this part here, Arda, because this part is in the body paragraph. So I would say, like, leave this for the body paragraph. Okay. All right. And I got some thumbs up there. So, you know, like I destroyed your writing a little bit here, Arda, but it's instead of saying with this statement, so it's in writing, it's awkward to refer to positions in writing, like what I wrote above, so I will discuss this below, or in response to the question above. That's kind of a weird way to write. It's not very good writing, and it's not very good writing to indirectly refer to ideas like I agree with that statement or I agree with this idea. It's just better to actually write the idea. Okay, so I'm in complete disagreement that arming police with firearms leads to more violence because they do this for safety of both themselves and society. And then it's a much better thesis statement. Okay. So here, this is what I would write. Let me just, literally, I'm going to grab what you have here, Arda, and rewrite it. So I am in complete disagreement that arming police with firearms leads to more violence, or if I want to be really fancy here, I can say more aggression in the general public, because they do this for both the safety of themselves and society. Okay? Yeah, and then you have a really good thesis statement. All right? So as long as all of you are on the same track, as long as all of you have some kind of a similar thesis statement, then you're doing really well. Now, we can get into the introduction, writing the introductory paragraph. Before I continue, just an interesting question. What is the slogan? What is the most common slogan of the police? I wonder if anybody has thought about this throughout this critical thinking. So when we're doing all of this, it's really good to visualize and, again, take from your real life experiences, right? I think in Canada, US, and from what I have seen in many other countries as well, the slogan, or the police slogan, that is popular in many parts of the world is to serve and protect. Yeah, Arda says to protect and serve. Very good, Arda. Yeah. And I've heard from a lot of people that it's the same in many other countries as well, to protect and serve, or to serve and protect. So that's so Cass says in the Philippines it's serve and protect. It's the same in Canada. I think it's the same in US. It sounds like it's the same in India as well, right? And if you think about it, in most countries the police do carry guns. I think when I was in Japan they didn't, but I'm not sure if Japan actually has lower cases of violence as well. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind, right? So keep reality in mind. All right, now the introductory paragraph has three parts, right? So we have the hook, we have the background, and we have the thesis. Okay. So the hook, again, for everybody, the hook is an interesting statement about 8 to 12 words, no mistakes, that introduces the topic of the question. Very easy when you've identified the topic. Okay, and again, members, I want you to write here. So I'm going to be a little bit faster, but I want you to write. Okay, so again, the topic here, we identified that, and this is why it's so important that you have the clear topic. So the topic is here before, okay, and the topic is police force carrying guns. Okay, now, interesting statement that captures the reader's attention, right? So here, the introduction for my hook, I would simply write, most police officers around the world carry pistols. Right away. And now you've created this policeman visually with a pistol for your reader, and it's strong enough to capture the reader's attention. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. So I have that absolute minimum. Is it good enough to introduce the topic? Absolutely. Does it capture my reader's attention? Absolutely. Is it necessary for a Band 8, Band 9 essay on the IELTS exam? Definitely. Is it a part of standard English literature and essay writing? Yes, absolutely. Your university professors will be looking for this. When an IELTS teacher says, oh, you don't need a hook for the IELTS Task 2, they're not talking about a Band 8, Band 9 essay. Okay, keep that in mind, all right? So police officers around the world carry pistols. Arda says, policemen around the world carry weapons. Very good. June says, peace officers are armed with guns in many countries. Perfect. I love it. You're coming up with very similar thesis statements. June, Arda, those are perfect. The grammar, the writing is bang on. It's right. Okay. Pravasha, don't think about it like a general statement for, well, I'm not sure where you're going with that, Pravasha, body paragraph 1. It's not body 1. The first paragraph is the introduction, then comes body 1. Yeah, Cass, very nice. So Cass writes, law enforcers around the globe possess pistols. Very good. Yeah, powerful visual. And you have good descriptive paraphrasing with law enforcers. So this is Cass right here. Let me grab that. So this is what Cass wrote. Cass, yeah, very good. I love the use of the word law enforcers because, yeah, policemen, policewomen, law enforcers around the globe possess pistols, and most of them do. Yeah. I don't think I would like to be a policeman in a country where I wouldn't be allowed to have a pistol. Okay. Bakrat says, police officers take an oath to protect society. I'm not sure where you, I think it's a bit general. So that would be my comment here. Bharat, is this is a bit general. So definitely, Bharat, be a little bit more specific to the actual topic, okay? This is Bandita here. So Bandita writes, let me see. Okay, Bandita writes, several police officers carry firearms. Bandita, I wouldn't say several. I would correct this with most. Okay, I think most police officers carry firearms around the world while they are serving their duties. This is unnecessary. While they are serving their duties, my comment on your sheet here would be unnecessary. This is understood. Okay, or wordy. This is understood. Okay, so for Band 8, Band 9, Bandita, you have to be concise and you have to eliminate information that's not necessary for your essay, right? Okay, so otherwise, very good. So I think there's a lot of good statements there. Okay, this is Kinga. Kinga is a new member, so I love seeing writing and I want to encourage writing by new members. So let's see this. It is common around the world for police officers to carry pistols. That's perfect. Okay, so that's very good. Okay. That works. That's very similar to what I wrote. Okay, so all of those are really good. Now comes the background. Okay, the background is basically a definition and the importance of the question. So when you're thinking of the background, this is the definition of the key terms and the importance of the question. So why are we asking this, okay? And it doesn't have to be in this order. So you might write about the importance of the question before the definition. It also depends on how clear the definitions are to the reader, okay? So here, for the background, this would be my definition. It is the privilege of peace officers to have sidearms with them at all times, especially while on duty, in order to perform their civil service. And now comes the importance. Okay, so again, members, you can write this and then I'll check what you're doing. All right, so for the prosperity of citizens, it is necessary to understand the value of permitting the police force to use firearms. Okay, so I'm keeping it fairly simple here. Now, this is something really cool I wanted to show you. Can everybody kind of, I don't know if you can see this, but I just upgraded to Microsoft Word 2020, I think. It is the version. Anyway, it's the latest version of Microsoft Word that I'm using in English, of course. And Microsoft Word in English has a lot of really good editing features, okay? For those of you who are taking the IELTS exam, I highly recommend using Microsoft Word in English, okay? So an English version of Microsoft Word. This is just a little side tip while you're working on your background. Okay, so tip to get ready for IELTS, use an English version of Microsoft Word. Use the latest version. Because the latest version of Microsoft Word, and maybe I'm old school and I was using Microsoft Word 2010 for too long, but the latest version of Microsoft Word has this really neat feature. Can everybody kind of see the little purple dots underneath this phrase, have sidearms with them at all times? Can you see those little dots? This is a newer feature of Microsoft Word where I when I right click on it, it actually pops up this little balloon here, and it says more concise language would be clearer for your reader. So here, it's actually telling me that, yeah, so Saab, I see that, and I'll talk to you about that in a second, okay? So here it says more concise language. So it says, change it to this. Always have sidearms with them. So the latest version of Microsoft Word is actually helping you to write concisely in English, and I think that's brilliant. And I think when you're using that, keep the original, so copy the original that you wrote, and then also make a copy of the change. So here, it's helping me be more concise. More police officers around the world carry pistols. It is the privilege of police officers to always have sidearms with them, especially while on duty, in order to perform their civil service. And here in order to, it's saying conciseness. To be more concise, you can just do to. Okay? So especially while on duty to perform their civil service. So the latest versions of Microsoft Word will actually help you to create concise language. Okay? All right? And that's how important it is that they actually realize that, okay, we need to help people write in concise ways. So notice how now I have a more concise piece of writing. Okay? All right, and here it's telling me I need a comma. Okay? All right, so use that because that will help you to write better, right? Okay, who said that? So Saab says Simon, an ex-examiner, says it is not necessary to write hook, and sometimes he marked his essays a band 9. Saab, unfortunately, I have to disagree. If you do not write a hook, there's a much lower chance. Most examiners we've spoken to say it's impossible to get a band 9 if you don't have a hook. The IELTS exam is also changing as the years pass. It's becoming more challenging, and the requirement for a band 8 and a band 9 has become stricter. Okay, so you should write a hook. Sub, definitely write a hook. I don't want to say Simon's wrong, but Simon's wrong. If a student wants to have the best chance to get a band 9, you have to write a hook. You have to write a hook, okay? Don't just think about Simon. Don't just think about me. Ask people who are experts in English about the importance of a hook in essay writing, and they will tell you that it's very important. It captures your audience, it introduces your topic, and good writing has a hook. End of story. Okay? All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, everyone. So now all I need to do is just stick this thesis statement in there, and then I'm good to go. So here with this thesis statement, it's also telling me that general public, I can just say public, should be more concise, but I actually want to keep the word general here. So careful with Microsoft Word corrections. They're not always perfect. Double check. If you're not sure, ask a teacher, okay? They're correct a lot of the time. I would say that they have about a 95% accuracy. Okay, so 95% of the time, which is good enough. Microsoft Word is giving you the correct adjustment. Okay, so here is my introductory paragraph with all of the pieces together. And now I'm on path to a good essay. Okay. By the way, Sab, another important point is when a lot of people say they were ex-examiners, it doesn't mean that they were markers. They could have been doing something else. Also remember that the IELTS requirements are changing. Generally speaking, they're becoming more difficult. Okay, so keep that all in mind. All right. Okay, and keep in mind too, students, that we have ex-examiners working for us. We work with people who are still examiners. We work directly with British Council. We're British Council partners, and I'm a certified British Council agent. Okay, so let me just reiterate that for you. Okay, so okay, so just you know where we're coming from. All right, we're in contact with IELTS representatives, test makers, test examiners, and vigilators on a weekly basis. We are in contact with them for many different reasons on a weekly basis. Okay, so when there are changes, when there are improvements, that we know about them often before anybody else does. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we go. There's absolutely no chance, Arda, because I'm not doing IELTS examinations. Okay. All right. So here we have our introduction, and we're going to continue from here tomorrow, members, with body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2. Let me just read the introduction so it makes sense. Most police officers around the world carry pistols. It is the privilege of police officers to always have sidearms with them, especially while on duty, to perform their civil service. For the prosperity of citizens, it is necessary to understand the value of permitting the police force to use firearms. I'm in complete disagreement that arming police with firearms leads to more aggression in the general public. I would change this to guns, just so we don't have word repetition, because they do this for both the safety of themselves and society. Okay, so now I have a good introduction, I have clarity, and I'm ready to write the rest of my essay. Okay, members, students, remember you can use this discount code for our premium IELTS package. It's the Lunar New Year discount. It's a 30% code. The code is Tiger 9. Okay, so Tiger 9, of course, because it's the year of the tiger. So use that code Tiger 9 on our websites to get that 30% discount. You just go to the website, you click on the red Join Now button, use coupon code, the green one, enter Tiger 9, click Continue, and you are good to go to get all the videos, practice exams, and much, much more. Same thing for academic IELTS at aehelp.com. Check us out there. Again, this was the task 2 question that we covered today, and we'll be continuing the body paragraphs tomorrow. So until then, visit our websites and check out our courses. Thank you so much, everyone. Baljit, Jyoti, thank you for giving us this question. Carolina, thank you for moderating. I will be back in 30 minutes, everyone, with a reading class. That reading class will be an all-chat class. Everybody will be able to join. So have a good break. Hopefully I'll catch you back here in half an hour. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, Canada for now. Goodbye, everyone.